So this is our last video on paradigm, and before you watch this video, please read the project on the Saving Black Male Adolescents. It's available in resources under paradigm. So we're going to scroll down here and find the literature review section. So this project focuses on the problem of black male youth, particularly in urban and impoverished areas, and their dramatic loss in terms of academics. So they are not graduating, they're dropping out of high school, and they are being incarcerated. So it says the problem section details what a serious problem this is, and how alarming these rates are. So we're coming down to where we get to the paradigm section. Now this isn't called, she hasn't titled this literature review, which is perfectly fine, but we get this here when we start unearthing root causes. And in this particular project, she argues that there's actually a lot of this problem can be linked to understandings of masculinity. And so she has done some research on what the concept of masculinity means for her particular population, and how that concept of masculinity has come to put social pressure on her population in ways that encourage them to drop out of school, to be rebellious, to not conform. Dropping out, she says, is a way that black males are representing their masculinity and their independence. And so of all the different ways that she could approach this problem, she wants to approach it by looking at how we might alter the construction of black masculinity. And so she does some research on peer group culture that shows how peer groups help construct black males' feelings of or definitions of masculinity and what that means. And so this is where she does this theoretical research on the concept of masculinity, where it comes from, how these norms are established, in order to make an argument for where we're going to intervene here. And so then you can see some of her empirical models. She has a mentorship program where she shows an example from Florida Memorial University that uses these peer groups, same peer groups that she's shown have a strong connection in helping form perhaps destructive notions of masculinity, and shows how we can use those same peer groups with some mentoring and different guidance in order to have a more positive effect on helping them understand what masculinity can mean in a more positive way. Now, what's really impressive about this is the results again, right? So we have this line: since the inception of BMCEP in 1995, 100% of seniors have graduated from high school, attended post-secondary education, joined the armed forces, or obtained employment. And so in the terms that she's been defining for her problem, she has a model that shows that once it's been implemented, and this kind of a program can be implemented well, it has a 100% success rate, which is amazing and very, very persuasive, very convincing for a reader to look at that kind of model and really be convinced of the approach that she's arguing for because of how well it's worked before. Then she also has a section where she's going to use this concept of literacy development. So low literacy rates is part of the problem, but moreover, she's using literacy as another way to create a peer group. So she has this concept of textual lineages, where she's going to expose her population to texts written by African American male writers that can help them maybe see some different views of masculinity and ways of being in a society. She's doing this, of course, together with a mentoring program. And she gives us an empirical model there as well. It's just an example of this working, of this being used, not an example of it working, because she doesn't have any quantifiable results. But this is actually an extremely strong paradigm section. And you can notice that in this one versus the one we just looked at, what makes it so strong is how well the theoretical is defined and how well the theoretical interacts with the empirical. That's what you're looking for in your papers.